Say anything.
Why can't you just say anything?
I'm gonna say anything.
People just say anything.
I swear, people just say anything.
Welcome to Say Anything with Keena B. Hello and welcome to Say Anything with Keena B. I am Keena B. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you sticking around for this inaugural season of Say Anything. This will be the last of this season's podcast. I'm gonna go on a break until next year, and then we will start season 2. But if you missed me, go back and listen to the first, I think we have 6 or 7 of those suckers in the bag for the first season, which is really good. Really, really good. I'm proud of me. And I am proud of you for sticking around. If you are new here, thank you for joining us for the first time. I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. And by us, I mean me. It's just me, y'all. So today we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna just talk about some things going on in the news and hopefully have a little fun as well. So stick around. We'll be right back.
The holiday season is fast approaching, but anytime is a good time to show a loved one how much you care. At WMBS Market, we specialize in local and global artwork. Find spectacular work by Zambian modern artist Ringo Bryant's Chilashay, Florida ceramist Gloria Nicholson, and naturalist painter Lily M. Clark. Alternative payment options are available on select artwork. Located at 23 North Madison Street, Quincy, Florida, in the historic downtown area. WMBS Market. Come for the culture, return for the connection.
Okay, so thank you for coming back. Thank you for joining me. Some sad news. We've had, some school shootings this week, unfortunately. I don't like to... this podcast is meant to be a bright light. But I did want to recognize the fact that right before holiday season, that a lot of people hold near and dear, that people have lost lives. And so I just wanted to kind of just touch on it for a second. It's horrible. It was in Madison, and it's just saddening. Nikki Giovani passed away last week, the poet, activist, advocate, and she will be dearly missed. She was absolutely, I know, a wonderful poet, and I listened to her work and read her work. My mother admired her work, and it was one of those things that we just had in common, and she will be missed. So if today you are missing someone, you have lost someone in the past, you've lost someone recently, and you're going into Christmas or Kwanzaa, or whatever holiday that you personally celebrate, without that loved one, we're sending you love and light. Okay, so let's swing into some happiness, okay? I have this game called Real Talk Hip Hop Edition, and it basically is a conversational starter around the topic of hip hop, and we're gonna play that game, even though I'm not able to ask you questions. You can always leave some comments, but I'm going to pull a card, and whatever is asked, I am going to answer. So here we go. The question is, if your child wanted to be a hip hop artist, how would you feel? Okay, well, this is easy. Because my child at one point did want to be a hip hop artist, and he might secretly still want to be one. Um, he wanted to be a rapper, but I don't feel any particular way about it. If that's what he wants to do, then that's what he wants to do. I'll tell you the same thing I told him. If you really want to be an artist, if you want to be a rapper, then you have to put everything that you have into it and learn how to write lyrics, learn how to freestyle, practice. Maybe if you go to school, you major in business entertainment, maybe major in producing, engineering, some type of musical learn or how to play a musical instrument, take up acting classes, anything that has to do with entertainment that shows that you really, this is the career that you want to do. And then go from there. But teenagers sometimes they want to be something one day and the next day they don't want to do it. So who knows what he'll actually end up doing? That was like when he was a younger. He was early teenage years. He wanted to be a rapper, and he did write a few things down. He did. But then it quickly shifted to something else. He's changed from wanting to be a rapper to wanting to be a lawyer to wanting to be in medicine. So I think at one point he wanted to be a boxer. And the wonderful thing is, anything he wants to put his full heart into, he will be able to accomplish. I truly believe that. I believe that for most children, that if they just really want it, they will go after it. They will achieve some type of result. And maybe even if being the main entertainer is not what ends up happening, being able to be in music, in and around music, would still take place. So I think it's fine. I think children should be aimed for whatever star they want to reach for and do it. What do you feel? If your child came to you and said, I want to be a hip hop artist, how would you feel? Okay, so the next question is, how has the rise of streaming platforms positively impacted the hip hop industry? Ooh, I don't know. I can't tell you. I'm not a person who is a industry insider, so I couldn't tell you the statistics as to whether or not how it has positively impacted. I think as a consumer, it makes we have the ability to hear artists that I probably would have never heard in the 90s, because the 90s is really the era that I am familiar with, and I was in college in the early 2000s, but at high school in the 90s. So to me, that's the music that most resonates. We were still listening to the radio. We were getting into internet streaming. We did like LimeWire. Everything had a virus. We went from cassette to CD to the little iPod things, which I had for like a split second. We had LimeWire. We started downloading songs, and then it went into streaming. All the music videos went to YouTube, but before it was YouTube, it was something else. It was like it was something else that all the music videos went to, because we were watching them on MTV. This is back when they were still on TV. You could still watch them, or those early late night shows where they would show music videos and stuff like that. So, my particular generation has seen quite a few changes when it comes to the music. I just think the main thing is access. Like, when I was a teenager, depending on where I lived, that was typically the music that I heard. Like, I lived in Missouri for a little while. I heard regional music there. I did not hear the southern Florida music until I actually lived in Florida. I remember when I first moved here, there was a song that was popular, or there was a dance anyway, like the squirrel, and there was a whole song around that squirrel. Let me see you squirrel. And I never had I heard that in Missouri. It was definitely a regional thing. And I wouldn't even say it was regional. I think it was just the state of Florida. I never heard that song outside of Florida, anywhere else. And then there were songs in Missouri that I didn't hear in Florida, so the one thing about streaming is that you are able to hear stuff from all over that is not mass produced or for the masses or mainstream. That's the word I'm looking for. So you're able to hear the things that are not mainstream yet faster than when I was a teenager. So that part is pretty good. So you're able to hear people that you normally would not hear. And that's a good thing. So I'll say that's a positive thing. But I don't know how much money the children are making. I don't know how much money any of these entertainers are making from these streaming platforms, quite frankly. So I don't know if that's necessarily a good or a bad thing. But the access that people have to hear somebody in New York while they're still in their early mixtape phases, that we would not have normally heard until they got really famous. I think that's good. I think that's nice. What the next question is there a such thing as being too young to listen to hip hop or rap music? I think it depends on how vulgar the music is. Yes. The short answer is yes. There is an age where you're too young. There's an age when you're too young to listen or watch anything because children's minds are like sponges. Now, if you're just talking about the fundamentals of rhythm and learning how music works, then no, right? But once you start getting into lyrics and then yes. It doesn't really matter what your background is. There is an age that is too early to listen to certain lyrics. I don't care if they don't understand it. It's in the air. It's in the atmosphere. It's in the energy of the music. It's in the intention. So I think that you do have to monitor the music that your children listen to when they are young. And the next question is, who are the biggest hip hop flops of all time? I have no idea. Because they're flops. If they were successful, we would not know their name. We would know their names, right? I said that right. If they were successful, I would know their name and I would be able to say, oh, this person fell off. But falling off, I don't think is flopping. I think a flop is someone who never managed to get up off the ground at all. So they just were not heard. And that's unfortunate. Now, so maybe you define flop as something different, but I would consider anyone who became like a one-hit wonder is not a flop. They were successful and then we did not hear from them again for whatever reason. Or maybe they did release things, they just didn't hit like that one hit did. But that's still not a flop to me. That person managed to rise to a point where people knew their names in certain spaces. But when I consider a flop, I consider it somebody that I wouldn't even know. I just don't know them at all. I would know to know them. So I can't really answer that question if it's based on my definition of a flop. Now, you might have a different definition of what a flop is. So maybe your definition is someone who actually had a song that came out and it just did not do well and never took off. Well, okay. I have a couple of songs in mind, but not necessarily artists, because there are plenty of songs that just didn't hit for me. But then again, that's a personal thing because there are plenty of songs I like that did not do well. So I wouldn't consider them a flop because I like them. You see? You see what I'm saying? But who's the biggest flop for you? Who is the biggest hip hop flops of all time? What's your opinion of that? Okay, here's another one. Name a hip hop song you know from beginning to end and hit it. I don't know if I know any songs from beginning to end. I know a lot, well, okay, that's not true. I know a lot of songs from beginning to end. I don't know if I would get the words right. You know how you make up words because you think you have the lyrics right? OPP came to my head, but I'm not gonna sing OPP. I'm not gonna sing anything because I'm not paying BMI a dime. No, but I do. I know OPP from beginning to end, and I also know Summertime from beginning to end. And I know a lot of songs from beginning to end, the more I think about it. You said hip hop, though. Hip hop. Because my brain automatically wants to go to R&B. Now, if you had said, name a neo soul song, I might have hit a note. Might have. I might not have. You still don't want to pay BMI. Let me see. OPP just really wants to come out. What's the song with Ice-T? It's coming to my head. I don't know why those particular ones are coming to my brain. LL Cool J. Oh, remember the song he did where I believe they got sued because they used somebody else's visual in the video instead of the singer who actually was on the record? Horrible, horrible, horrible thing to happen to her. But I love the song. I love the song. Love the song though. Okay, let me think. Let me see. Oh, it has here, what's the difference between hip hop and rap? I'm gonna let that other question go because I'm not gonna sing. What's the difference between hip hop and rap? That's like asking what's the difference between R&B and neo soul. They're very closely tied, are they not? It's a vibe thing. You'd have to ask a musician. I think, okay, my own personal opinion. What is the difference? Hip hop is more rhythmic, more lyrical, lyrically conscious, actually tells a story. Not that all rap does not tell a story, but I think that hip hop specifically focused on beats, had a lot to do with the DJs, was meant to dance to, was meant to tell a story while you're dancing to it, and also incorporates rap into it, also incorporates other things into it. Like and it was a lot of different types of, the word melodies is coming to my head. But I know that's not it. They really cared about instrumentality when it came to hip hop. Like it's in a lot of funk went into it, and even rhythm and even blues. I don't know if rap necessarily has that same connotation. I think rap by itself without incorporating hip hop, just rap over time has changed. Not neither good nor bad, just changed. Like it became very hard in the 90s and just rough edges. I would say it was very rough edges in the 90s. But hey, I like the 90s rap. It was still lyrical though. I think it still told a story, but toward late 90s, early 2000s, it was very, very like crunk, like, less dance and more just bounce, if that makes sense. Like people were not really dancing to it. Unless it was Nelly. You danced to Nelly. I danced to Nelly. But would you consider Nelly hip hop? Would you consider him rap? Would you consider him pop music? He definitely crossed over into the pop lane, Nelly did. Especially when he did the collaboration with the Florida Georgia Boys. It was Florida Georgia Boys, right? That country song. He crossed over a lot. And then he did all those songs with Kelly Rowland, and he had a lot of features. But I like Nelly. But then again, he was from St. Louis, so that makes sense. But okay, so I need to talk about Houston rap then, because we had Paul Wall. I know Paul Wall. And I would consider him hip hop. I guess it really kind of depends on the region that you're from, what you would consider rap and what you would consider hip hop. I'm sure someone who is from New York is listening to me saying she doesn't know. Well, it's just a conversation. School me then. School me in the comments if I don't know. Okay? Next and final question. Which artist no longer tours, but whose concert would you wish you had seen? No longer tours, but I wish I had been to their concert. No longer tours? No longer tours. Let me tell you something. The people that I wish I had seen that no longer tour have passed away. So it would have been Tupac. It would have been, and this is not a hip hop artist, Prince. Everybody else is still alive. Like, I want to see Method Man, and I want to see LL. I still want to see Will Smith. I don't know if Run DMC tours at all. But I also don't know if I want to see him. No shade. I just may not want to see that. But I don't know if they actually tour or not. I think they still do, but they just do special things, like special shows. I would love to see Talib Kweli and The Roots. I would love to see The Roots. I would love, when they had that concert, that block, I think Dave Chappelle presented a block party. I wish I had lived there, okay? I wish I had lived in that area during that time when he made that block party happen. That is amazing. I watched that documentary a few times. And, because he had all the neo soul girls there. I just wish I had been around for that. So, the only person is Tupac, and, he's gone. So that's not happening. And y'all would probably consider him more rap than hip hop. I don't know. I don't think it. I think everybody else still does something. They may not go on tours all the time, but they still like have shows or pop-ups or special presentations every now and then. All right, so that is the game. It's called Real Talk Hip Hop Edition, and it is conscious conversation starter cards. Maybe you get yourself some. I don't know. It helps me get through this podcast, though. Gave me something to talk about. So who is your favorite hip-hop group? Who's your favorite rap artist? What are you going to do over the holidays? Are you traveling anywhere? Whatever you do, I hope that you stay safe. I hope you have fun. And I hope to see you next year for a new season of Say Anything with Kina B. Happy holidays, y'all.